Becoming a master of the storytelling as a real estate agent, and how to bring the trust of the client with this storytelling.
Most people hear the words real estate agent and they run in the other hills. They don't want to necessarily talk to us even though we're there to help. So really, but they do talk to people that they trust. They talk to human beings, and stories and sharing our own stories and being personal with who we are helps build trust. So you don't have to be a romance author like me, but we do have to be able to have some areas of our lives to where we're going to tell our truths, and our truths are going to be how we build trust. So you have to be willing to share a little parts of your life, because that's what makes you realistic and unforgettable.
Exactly. Therefore, the message here that people really don't hire agent, but they hire person that they, or people that they believe in. They're just not tapping all the time to technology, but they want to really that human connection. And think the lead generation is about having just a script, best photo, or even the best technology. But there's something more powerful. That's what we were talking about, how deeply connected to people.
So what if you're a really private person and you don't want to share? You are not alone. Not everybody wants to put everything they have online in social media, and honestly, you shouldn't. But we have to have areas to where we are public people. So I would say take your life and look at yourself and look deeply and understand you have private parts that you're never going to share, personal parts that you're going to selectively share, and then some areas of life that are public knowledge that you're going to share freely. And having a way to where you have personalized and really thought of 3 areas of your life where you don't care, that you're okay being open, and if somebody criticizes it, you're going to understand that it's public knowledge and they're going to have their own opinion about it. So make sure the key is your vulnerability. You choose where your truth come into play and they align with what you're trying to do, to be who you want. So it's not about telling crying on the camera, telling all your deep dark secrets. It's not about letting someone see you fall apart. It's about letting someone see your heart and see that you're a real person just for those few moments and what you're allowing yourself to share. So I would say, even if you are a private person, find areas of your life that you're okay talking about.
Exactly. Therefore, really here, the first step comes to the picking the version of you that can serve people. And you can start with this question, as my wife said, what version of my story can help someone to feel safe at the same time they want to work with me? And then here, maybe the story is about your first home. When you started, you had fear, you didn't know where you should start, and you were very confused. And you say, I'm confused, but I need somebody to help me, to handhold me to this journey. Or you can maybe, for example, how stumbled you get into the real estate.
How did you get into real estate? Yeah.
Real estate, For example, this is also a life pivot. Like, what happened? Maybe where was your career and now where you are right now. Or maybe it's about how you helped the first family to become a homeowners when they were renters for many years, and now you help them to become owning their own home.
Then now, number 2, once you have a story that you feel safe enough to tell and you can be your truth, it is one of the layers. And it's not just about your work life. You have to share more than just how you help one client. Structure this without the fluff. So have step up. So the setup is going to be, what happened? Who were you at this time? For me, I'm going to talk about I have lots of different journeys to talk about. I've had so many different careers. I've had so many different life experiences. So I have lots of things that I can talk about. But basically, you give your story. I wasn't always in real estate. I did this until I realized this. For me, I'm going to talk about how I hated being a lawyer, but I love being a real estate agent. And then the struggle. What are the emotions? What are the challenges you're facing? You can talk about how at one point you were going to fall apart. For me, I can talk about how being a lawyer just kind of scared me to the point where I was never going to have a life, a children, husband, or I couldn't see myself beyond that desk. And it was one of the scariest moments of my life to where I cannot do that. So this was the emotion that I really felt in this moment. I'm sharing my struggle. And then what shift, what changes, what were the decisions that you made? For me, maybe it wasn't because I went to law school, I didn't have to go to real estate school, but I could put it all together and say, okay, this is something else I'm qualified to do. And then basically I'm sharing a little bit right now of my own story because this is really there. And then the takeaway is how messy beginnings, might lead to second chances, and I'm here to help other people as well, or something where I'm really going back to where I am trying to talk about myself as a real estate agent. And you want to really tie this to your clients. So your part of yourself and your soul that you're bearing is tied to how you help your clients.
Exactly. Therefore, for example, those examples that we made, if you remember the first time when you wanted to own your first home, how you were excited, at the same time nervous, and you had fear, then you can tie this journey to those clients for the first time that they are renting, either for a while or for many years, that how you can address those fears, how you can give them a guide that handhold them from the beginning to the end when they get those keys to their hands. Or if they already bought a house and the first time they wanted to sell their home, and again you can tie it to your journey. That, for example, in us, we had a really interesting journey for first house that we wanted to sell, and we were not real estate, and we know that how it was scary, and how you can start seeing yourself and being in a value for people that they can trust you, and all these nerves overwhelming, this is where your value comes, and that how you can, in human level, you can connect with those people.
So again, nobody is perfect. You do not have to have this wonderful perfect life that you're presenting. In fact, nobody believes it. In fact, don't try to be perfect, but we do have to be present moment and present for our people, because we're not just telling stories like to win a contest. We're not trying to get a contract in the mail. We're not trying to make someone else feel seen. We're trying to make someone else feel seen. Sorry, who you are. You want to make sure that they're listening. You heard them. You understood what they're saying. That time you cried, the one when you felt all that fear, the moments when you felt weren't good enough, someone needs to hear that, because it's going to connect them to their own journey. So this is what we're going to say. You have to put yourself out there. You have to be authentic. I'm not telling you make up a story. You have to be authentic with your story.
Here is we need to really take an action. And you don't have to share whole of a story of your life one at a time. Journey, the 1,000-mile journey start with the first step. And you need to do a one post or one reel, and of course the conversion, how you can connect with those people, and start with something even small. There's your first time buying a home, or first time that you change your career to become a real estate agent, or first time that you felt that you don't want it to be a renter anymore and you wanted to tap into owning your own home. And these are gonna click with many people that they have in the same situation that you were before, and they can trust you.
Now, I would say, here's what our homework is today. Get a piece of paper, write down 3 to 5 areas of your life where you feel comfortable talking about, and then maybe you're going to have 3 to 5 areas of your life that you're never going to talk about. For me, I don't want to talk about my kids and my mom, being a mom, and I don't feel comfortable sharing intimate moments with my kids to where we can actually have a conversation. I know other people make a whole career on it, but I don't feel comfortable with that moment for me and my truth. I do mention I'm a mom, of course, but I don't go into deep on philosophical and theory and all of that stuff, because it's not what I want to talk about, and it's not really kind of the story I want to share. But I do talk about it in other areas. So find your truths and find your 3 to 5 that you're willing to talk about, and 3 to 5 that you're not willing to talk about, and be honest with yourself, because this is kind of your guideline for sharing your stories.